Hi everyone, today I am going to discuss about data modeling part 2. Here we will discuss in more detail about Hybris data modeling. So let's proceed. So first today we will discuss how many types of data we are using in data modeling. So there are first atomic types. So we will discuss what is atomic types here. So it is used to create various atomic types which includes Java, numbers and a string object. Atomic types in Hybris basically nothing but data types which we are using in Java. So same data we will use in Hybris as well. So those data types are called atomic type. Example, we can see java.len.integer, java.len.boolean, java.len.string. So all Java data types we call as a atomic type in Hybris. Here we can see these are the atomic types which we used in Hybris data modeling, like object, boolean, double, string, all Java standard types. Coming to the collection types. So collection, this is the second type of data which we used in Hybris. So basically we use collection type to build a collection of data, similar type of data or a group of element types. Like suppose I want to store some collections of value of similar data types. So in that case we can use collection types like group of products and etc. And in Hybris we define collection types like this in item.xml. So here will be collection tag, this is XML format, collection type and code. Code will be used product collection, what code we want to use, and element type product, means which type of element we will use in this collection type. So we are going to store all product related data. Autocreate will be true and generated will be true. So it will create product collection table in database. It will generate corresponding Java class as well. So like here we are seeing product collection, that is for product type, and we are creating collection tabs for language list which will store all language type data. So language is here another item type available in the Hybris. Second, we are getting the language set, and it is also type of language. So like that we can define collection types in Hybris. We will see in the code base as well, which is defined out of the box. And third one is enum types. So these are used to build enumeration in Java for preparing a specific set of values. Like we are using enumeration in Java. Similarly, here also we are using that is enum types. There is best example enum types is mainly suppose we want to define a drop down. That drop down will have some values like title or country or gender. Those type of things we can define through the enum type and we can use during the development period. Here we can see example, gender is we are defining enum type, gender as enum type which will contain two values, male and female. So this is the way we will define enum type in Hybris. So enum type is a type, there will be code will be the gender, autocreate true and generated to true, so it will generate table and Pojo class as well. That table will be value gender. Coming to the next, map types. So map types is also covered in Hybris. So these are used to store key value pair in Hybris data module. Each key represents its own code. Suppose similar in Java we are using map. So same concept here. We are using map types in Hybris as well. So this is the way we define map types in Hybris. Map types tag will be there. Here code will be address map. Here we are using for address. Argument type will be string. Return type will be address. So this will contain key value. This return type is a we will consider as a key, and argument type will consider as a value. Yeah. Because address is a unique value, return string type value. Address is another item type here in Hybris. So we will based on the key and value we want to fetch address. So in that case we are using map type here. We will explain again in the code base. And another one is relation types. Suppose we want to make relation between two tables, or we want to create a link between two tables. So in that case we are using relation types in Hybris. So to define a relation tag is there. This is the process we will define relation in Hybris. So relation tag is there. We will use code for the table purpose. What would be the name of that table? Like user to contact info we are using here. Generate is equal to true, and we want to localize or not. Or to create equal to true. So it will generate our table and set a getter. And here source element and target element will be there. So which two tables we want to link. So here we are using source as a user table. So here we are using source as a user table and target as abstract contact info table. And here we are using coordinate equal to 1 to many. Here we are using for one to many relation many contact info. So user will be one and abstract contact info will have many information. Contact address, contact related things. So this is the way we define relation types in Hybris. And they are coming to the item types in more detail. So here there are different ways to define item types in SAP Commerce. So there are three ways to define item types in SAP Commerce. So we can define in three ways. So first, defining the new item type without extending the existing item type. Second one is defining the new item type by extending the existing item type. Third one is define the existing item type again by adding the new attributes. So we will explain in more detail how we will define. So coming to first one, defining the new item type without extending the existing item type. Okay, so we will go to the code base. Here we can see item types item type is there. So in the item.xml we are saying this is the out of the box item.xml. So this is the items. This is atomic type. We can see here all atomic types are here available out of the box. This is the Java types and some other types provided by Hybris as well. Mostly are the Java types. And this is the collection type. These are the out of the box collection types which are defined here in code item.xml. These are the enum types. Test enum, credit card type, order status. These are all drop down types mostly. These are the map types defined by default in Hybris. We can see the language is there. Many are there. These are the relations defined in Hybris. So we can take relation. This is a abstract order to abstract order into relation. Here we are using source element as a abstract order. Target element abstract order entry. And we are using one to many relation. Relation also we can define one to many, many to one, many to many. Here one thing we have to notice. So in the case of one to many, we are not providing any deployment table here. But in the many to many relation, see we can see this one. This is the relation type which are using many to many. So in the case of many to many relation, deployment table is required. Many to many relation. We will not provide deployment table, so it will build fail during the build time. So this is the main points we should remember while defining the many to many relationship. Okay, coming to the defining the item type without extending the out of the box table. So here I am defining a new item type car that is not available out of the box. Here we are providing autocreate is equal to true and generate is equal to true. So what it will do, what will be the autocreate and generate, what will do here. So autocreate will create a table in the database because this is not available out of the box, and generate will create the model class, which will contain getter and setter method. And this is the deployment tag here. So here deployment, this is used for the creating the table. We want to create the table for this car, so we will provide deployment tag. This is the table name we are using car. This is the type code. This is mandatory for every deployment table, and this should be unique for the all item type. And type code here I want to discuss more about type code. So there are some limitations for the type code in Hybris. Its value should be between 0 to 32,767 and it should be unique. And type code values between 0 to 10,000 are reserved by Hybris. So we should not use 0 to 10,000 for any new item type. We have to use apart from 10,000, like this 11,000 something. Okay, this is the item type and this is the deployment table. Coming to the attributes, so what are the attributes? Like column, we want to add to this item type. So this will create a column type. So inside attributes we will add different attribute that called column. Like I want to add here model number, car model number. That will be the types of a string. Java dot, so normally Java string we are using here defining the qualified means it will be the column name. And modifier, there Hybris provided some modifier like whether this attribute is optional or required. So by default optional is true. If you want to make it required, you can make it false. Read is equal to true means it will generate getter method for this attribute. Write will be setter method for this attribute. We will put write is equal to false, it will not generate setter method for this attribute. And unique true means it will be unique value because this is a card model number, so it should be unique. So we will define unique equal to true here like that. And coming to the persistent type. So for every attribute we are using persistent type. Persistence stand for this whether we want to save this attribute in the database or not. So if persistent type is equal to property, so it will save this attribute value in the database. So there are two types, one is property and one is dynamic. So dynamic, if we will declare type is equal to dynamic, so it will not save this attribute value in the database. So similar way we have defined another attribute that is brand name, car brand name, that is also type of a string, and this is the modifier we are using, and this is also persistent type property. So we want to save this value in the database. So this is the first way of defining the item type. Defining the new item type without extending the existing item type. Now coming to second one, defining the new item type by extending the existing item type. For example, creating a my product item type by extending the product table with a new attribute. So here we can see product is a table which is available out of the box, and there is a requirement I don't want to use that product table, and I want to add some new attribute which should not affect the other products, because in the Hybris there may be the millions of products are there, and the attribute which we are adding here is visited by customer. When the customer is browsing to the site, they visit some product, right? So we want to capture those details, whether it is visited or not. So that should not apply to all product, otherwise it will cause the performance issue. So for that purpose, what we have done, so we have created a new product type, my product, by extending the product folder out of the box and here we are putting auto create is equal to true and generate is equal to true because it will create a new table and for the class for my product, and this will be the Jalao class name because every product every item type has some Jalao class, and this attribute here I am adding. So I am adding a new attribute of boolean type is visited, modifier true. These are the normal modifiers we are using. Persistent type property. So like this we can create a new item type by extending the out of the box item type or in any other item type. This is the, we can call this is the super class and this is the subclass. So my product will have all attribute of product. We can access all attribute of product through the my product as well. Third one is define the existing item type again by adding the new attribute. So here one requirement is there, so product model is already there, okay, and I want to add new attribute in that model only, that item type only. I don't want to create new item type. Okay, so in that case we will define like this. So we will use item type called product, auto create is equal to false and generate is equal to false will be there because this product model is already there and model class Java class is already created for this one. So that's why we don't want to create a table and Java class again for this one. So this will be, there is no changes. Okay, auto create. So this one we have to focus main here, auto create and generate should be false when we are defining, when we are adding a new attribute for the existing item type without extending one. And here we can add attributes whatever we want to add. So here I had added is visited for the test sample purpose only, and we can proceed further like that. So that was the discussion for item type today. In next session we are going to discuss on these topics. What is the difference between collection type and relation type? When should you use collection type and relation type? What is dynamic attribute? What is the use of parts of attributes? So we will discuss these topics in next session. And any other topics which remaining in the data model. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.